Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the match between Barcelona and Rayo Vallecano. Barcelona is officially in first place. We have a total of 51 points. Real Madrid also have a total of 51 points. Atletico Madrid with 50 points and Athletic Club with 45 points. The reason why Barcelona are in first place is because of the goal difference. And thanks to Lewandowski's penalty, it allowed for Barcelona to win this game 1-0. Now, the game was not easy whatsoever. Like, there's a reason why Rayo Vallecano are currently sitting at 6th place in La Liga. That is because Rayo Vallecano are a very complicated team, a team that does force you to make mistakes, and Barcelona had a huge responsibility today, which was to not concede against Rayo Vallecano. Luckily for us, Barcelona came out with a win because Rayo Vallecano did have a few chances. Barcelona could have seen a 1-1 scoreline or maybe even a 2-1 scoreline, like very close, maybe 2-2, 3-3, etc. Rayo Vallecano were very unlucky. Barcelona were lucky to get away with 3 points. And I'm going to be explaining why throughout this video. Now, first things first, our lineup looked like this. We had Hector Fort on the right back position, Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, and Alejandro Balde at the back, with our double pivot being Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. Our attacking four was Rafinha, Gavi, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski. Now, this is a very predictable starting 11, but if we look at the right back position, you would really question, why is Hector Fort starting over Jules Koundé? And the reason why is because Hansi Flick was not impressed with how Jules Koundé was entering the match meetings, right? He was saying, okay, like, yes, Koundé, you're here, but you were here 4 minutes ago and you should have been here 5 minutes ago, right? Jules Koundé was coming late to the team meetings, and because of that, Hansi Flick has punished Jules Koundé, took him out of the starting 11 and put in Hector Fort. It's a very similar situation with Iñaki Peña and Szczesny. Iñaki Peña arrived 4 minutes late to a team meeting, and ever since that day, Szczesny has been starting over Iñaki Peña. It is just one of the rules that Hansi Flick has in the club right now, and sometimes I would say that with these type of decisions that are being made like last minute, it does not give the best results. Once again, I'm going to be talking about that later in this video, but Hansi Flick confirmed by quoting before the match that Jules Koundé has been benched as it's a internal decision. But I really do think that because of this last minute change of Hector Fort and Jules Koundé, it did impact their performance. So what do I mean? So if we look at the screenshot here, we can see Frenkie de Jong in between Inigo Martinez and Cubarsí. And the reason why Frenkie's position was so deep is because Hansi Flick said, okay, Frenkie, I want you to drop deep, have the ball between Inigo Martinez and Cubarsí, and I'm going to want my fullbacks to go up high and join the midfield. Hence the reason why we do see Alejandro Balde and Hector Fort very leveled in terms of their position and how high up they are in the pitch. They are joining the midfield. So in a way, we can see it is a 3-4-3 formation. Frenkie, Inigo Martinez, and Cubarsí at the back with Hector Fort and Balde joining Pedri and Frenkie de Jong to form the 4-man midfield with Rafinha, Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal up top. Sometimes we even saw Pedri drop down between the two center backs, and we saw Frenkie stay higher and Pedri deeper. Alejandro Balde and Hector Fort continue to have the same roles. So I'm like, okay, fine. It's a very different system, I would say, with different profiles. Maybe something could work out. But as the game did progress, I honestly did not like to see how Hector Fort was playing. I do think that overall, with a formation like this and with these players being set up like that, Gavi gave out very little. Hector Fort also gave out very little. Frenkie de Jong also gave out very little in the first 45 minutes. They did very little on the ball, and they can do so much more because we know their capabilities. And I immediately knew after like 30 to 35 minutes that these players were just not going to have a good game today. Players like Olmo would have suited the system much better. Jules Koundé should have been in the right back position, and Casado should have been in for Frenkie de Jong. I really did want to see Casado come in for Frenkie in the first 20 to 25 minutes, because if Casado were to be there and Frenkie de Jong was out, that would allow for Barcelona to just go back to a simple 3-4-3 formation. But instead of one of the central defensive midfield dropping deep, it would be Jules Koundé staying at the back with Cubarsí at the center instead of Frenkie de Jong or Pedri, and we go on to the attack. It gives Barcelona much more balance at the back, right? Because it is Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, and Jules Koundé, and we don't necessarily have to see Hector Fort up top because he was not providing a lot of movement. He was not giving Lamine Yamal any support whatsoever as well. So because Hector Fort did not really do anything on the right flank, in a way, we can just say that in the first 45 minutes, we played in a 3-3-3 formation because Hector Fort did nothing. And there's nothing against this player. It's just Hector Fort was probably just not ready for this game. The whole system needed to change. And I do think that since Hector Fort was a weakness, Rayo Vallecano ate that up. They said, oh my God, like Hector Fort is not doing anything defensively. He's not doing anything offensively. Let's just go through him and see what happens. And they got lucky. Hector Fort had 0 out of 1 successful dribbles, 0 out of 0 tackles won. Like he didn't make a single tackle, 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, interceptions, 3 defensive actions, and only 2 recoveries. It's very little. No ground duels were won, no aerial duels were won, nothing. And he lost 3 duels. Barcelona needed to be much more balanced. On the other note, I do think that Cubarsí does thrive as a left center back. We have seen that happen throughout the whole course of this season. But in this game against Rayo, he was deployed as a right center back, and he does offer qualities that no one else in the squad possess. Cubarsí was amazing in this game. He does not have a preferred position within the 2 center back positions, right? He can play on the right center back position or on the left center back position. And in tonight's game, he completed the most passes with a total of 70. And it's going to be so interesting to see how his physique does develop over time, because one of the reasons why Cubarsí is so good at the back is because he's flexible, right? His hips are very flexible, which is the reason why he's able to make ridiculous passes. And hopefully Cubarsí can continue with this type of physical condition, right? Having very flexible hips. Pause, right? I know that's a little sus, but we move on. Inigo Martinez also played a very good game. Part of the reason why we even had a penalty in this game that was taken by Lewandowski is because Inigo Martinez was taken down. Outside of that, his defensive coverage was amazing. He continues to show why. As of right now, the best center back pairing that we can have is Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez. Alejandro Balde also had a tremendous game, just blasting through the midfield line and also the defensive line. He completed the most dribbles, which was a total of 4. Alejandro Balde is playing his best football yet. Like I've said, Hector Ford was the weakest one in that back line. All of his defensive situations that demanded quick reaction and quick decision making, he was just not on point. So there was a moment in this game where we did see Rayo Vallecano score a goal, and apparently the ref did rule it off. Many did assume that the reason why he ruled that goal off by Rayo Vallecano was because he was offside, but if we look at the replay, we can see that yes, they were onside, but that's not the reason why the ref ruled off this goal. It's simply because Enteca, who is the striker of Rayo Vallecano, blocked Inigo Martinez's run, which in the end has been referred to a interference of play. The ref did not stop the goal because it was offside. It is simply because there was an interference of play and nothing more. But the whole media and everybody thought that the ref was trying to rule off a goal by Rayo Vallecano because supposedly they got paid by Barcelona and that this was supposed to be an onside goal, but that is not what the ref was looking at in the first place. This rule is nothing new. This has been going on for so many years. Don't build up any conspiracies about this just being made up like yesterday only to benefit FC Barcelona. No, it happened multiple times throughout the years. This literally happened to us and against us last season when Ferran Torres was interfering with play, as you can see here in the picture. João Felix was the one that did score this goal, but because Ferran Torres was interfering with this cross, they disallowed Barcelona's goal. So it did happen against us. None of this is new. It was not only created to benefit FC Barcelona. You can scratch that off, just move on. We can even talk about a certain time when Leipzig and Real Madrid did play against one another. And as you can see here on the right side, one of the midfielders of Leipzig was shooting the ball. And as he was shooting the ball on the left side, you can see one of the Leipzig strikers or defenders. I don't know who this player is, but he is right next to the goalkeeper of Real Madrid. And because that striker of Leipzig or defender of Leipzig was next to the Real Madrid goalkeeper, that also was called as interference of play. Even though this play ended up with a goal, they ruled it off because once again, it is interference of play. So outside of that, I would say that this first 45 minutes, it was not the best. I would say that Barcelona's goal scoring momentum or goal creating momentum did die down after the penalty because for some reason, I don't know why, but Barcelona did look very comfortable after they were up 1-0, which I did not like. I just don't understand why Barcelona did not show they wanted more. Because in the attacking momentum, we can even see here that Barcelona's attacking momentum died down after the penalty. And I'm like, no, we should want more, right? We should be scoring more. Even though it's 1-0, let's make it 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. This was a game that should have been 3-4-0 before the 45th minute, but Barcelona did not want that. By the way Barcelona were playing, it seemed like this could have ended 1 at halftime, but it should have been 3-0 or 4-0. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just the players just lacked the aggressiveness, the intensity in the last 15 to 20 minutes of the first half. I'm like, bro, this is not how we're going to win the league. Like, trust me, like one day we're not going to be lucky like we did against Rayo and we're going to lose some points. And the level of humility, it just has to go out, bro. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, just because you think you're 1-0 up, it does not mean that you can just rest. We need much more. And also with Lewandowski scoring in this game, he now has 20 goals in 23 matches in La Liga this season, which is a direct improvement on top of last season with Barcelona, where he scored 19 goals in total in 35 matches. So congratulations to Lewandowski for leveling up his goal scoring game this season under Hansi Flick. I'm very proud of him. Moving on towards the second half, and we can see a moment of Pedri magic, right? Pedri was probably the best player, not probably, the best player in this game for sure, right? Pedri had so many magical moments, just taking on players, always making the right decisions. Just out of one pass, one touch, he just instantly puts Barcelona in a huge goal scoring opportunity. I love everything that Pedri did in this game. To me, Pedri for sure deserved the man of the match. I don't understand why anybody would say Bellingham is better than Pedri, or Pedri's not one of the best midfielders in the world. Pedri is the best midfielder in the world at the age of just 22 years old. He just had one hell of a game. 62 out of 69 passes were completed, 2 chances created, 84 touches, 2 touches in the opposition box, 2 out of 2 successful dribbles, 9 passes into the final third, 3 defensive actions, 9 recoveries, and 5 out of 7 ground duels won. Yes, you heard that right. Not just played offensively well, but defensively, he was also stealing so many balls. He does much more work than what a regular midfielder should be doing. Pedri truly, but I mean truly, is the heart of FC Barcelona. So fast forwarding to the 65th minute, Dani Olmo replaces Gavi, Jules Koundé replaces Hector Fort, as Hansi Flick should, because I think that Gavi and Hector Fort did not have their best games. I do think that with Dani Olmo coming into the picture, it improved Barcelona's game for sure. Like, bro, on the 70th minute, we saw Dani Olmo make a 360 move on one of the defenders. I'm like, oh my god, that move did not even make any sense. And apparently, you know, he was taken down by one of the goalkeepers. I do think that it should have been a red card. And I'm not saying that because I'm Barcelona biased. I'm saying that because if you're going to give Fermin Lopez a red card for his play 2 matches ago, then you give the goalkeeper his red card, because Fermin Lopez hit the ball first and then the player, and he was given a red card. So I'm like, okay, fine. He was given a red card, but at least be consistent. Here in this play with Dani Olmo and the goalkeeper hit the ball first and then hit Dani Olmo, but nothing was called. Nothing. Based off the logic and the reasoning behind Fermin Lopez's red card, the goalkeeper here should have been given a red card after Dani Olmo tried to go through him. Yet people want to say that this is the Negrera League and that this is Barcelona paying the refs. Nope, that you can just forget about that, screw that over, because there is still a lot of things that do go up against FC Barcelona outside of our literal opponents, yet we're still going into first place in La Liga. We make no excuses. On the 73rd minute, we saw Dani Olmo make a pass to Rafinha. Rafinha, unfortunately, did not have his best night. He was on a 1v1 situation with the goalkeeper and he missed, right? It was just not his night, and hopefully we can still recover his best form. Rayo Vallecano almost tied this game. Like I've said, Barcelona should have been finishing this match 3-4-0, because if they did, we would not be having many heart attacks in the last 2 or 3 minutes of this game. Rayo Vallecano almost made it 1-1 with the player making a header. Unfortunately for Barcelona, they continued to get lucky. So all in all, it was not the best game from FC Barcelona. We could have played much better. I do think that with Dani Olmo coming into the picture, as of now, Dani Olmo does deserve to start over Gavi, which is good, right? It does not mean that Gavi is trash. It does not mean that Gavi no longer should be in the 11 forever. It's not that. It is always about who is the player that is in better form in that position. And right now, it is Dani Olmo, because when Dani Olmo is in the 11, he does significantly expand Barcelona's attacking options in all areas, on the right flank, left flank, through the middle, everywhere. And his presence also amplifies Pedri's influence, making his playmaking even more dangerous. And because of Dani Olmo's creative power, it also does ease the burden on Lamine Yamal in the final third, because now you do not just have one player in the final third who can be creative, which is usually coming from Lamine Yamal, but now you do have 2. That is Dani Olmo and Lamine. Olmo to me is a game changer at the moment, and he's going to be decisive for many more years to come. So congratulations to FC Barcelona for reaching in first place. Let's continue to move forward from here. Our next match is going to be against Las Palmas on Saturday, February 22nd. That is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.